Speaking of negativity, I'm going to move over to the north side of Chicago as we
Oof.
come close to finishing out this episode. I got to talk about the Cubs and their trade deadline. The big headline, of course, is trading Christopher Morell, fan favorite, reincarnation of Javi Baez. A lot of energy, a lot of home runs, a lot of swing and miss. A lot of not being able to figure out what a slider is or how to lay off of it. They're
A lot of
eerily
bad
similar.
defense.
Well, Baez is the opposite in that. Baez is a far better defender
Oh
than
no, right. I meant
Christopher
Morel.
Morel.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how Miss Christopher Morel cannot play defense at any position, and that's what the Cubs were hoping desperately for going into the season. They could find a position for him. He did not work out at third base. He did hit plenty of home runs. I think he had 18 home runs before they traded him. He subsequently had two more with the Tampa Bay Rays, where he was traded to 2 days ago. The power is undeniable for Christopher Morel, but every other aspect of his game is concerning, to say the least. Equally concerning is the Cubs traded him to Tampa Bay for Isaac Paredes, who is not concerning of himself. He is a fantastic player. He's an all-star. He's had close to 800 OPS over the last 3 years, 126 OPS plus over that span. He's legit, and he's an average, I would say, an average third baseman. He's not a liability at third base, but he's not going to win games for you over at third base. He's not going to lose games for you either, which is certainly the case with Christopher Morel. Is he was going to lose you games at third base. So that is an upgrade. The trouble is the rule of thumb, and I've experienced this as a Tigers fan directly, is do not trade with the Tampa Bay Rays because they know shit you do not, and they typically fleece other teams. And they absolutely fleeced the Tigers when they traded away Isaac Paredes 3 years ago. Traded him for Austin Meadows, you might
Oof.
remember, who was
Yeah.
coming off a 27 home run season. Looked like part of a plan for the Tigers to
Ooh.
push forward and make a run for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Ended up being probably the worst. I can't imagine a worse trade than Isaac Paredes and Austin Meadows. I'm sure somebody can point out worse ones, but Austin Meadows barely played for the Tigers, not because he was injured. It's because he had anxiety issues that he had to take himself off the field and away from the team. And I just don't know how the Rays could not know about that somehow. Um, I mean, Alavila, who I'd love to shit on, and all of Detroit loves to shit on. You can't really blame him for not knowing that a guy who just came off a 27 home run season, who literally could not play baseball because of his anxiety issues going forward. The other weird part about that is Paredes had 2 home runs in his Tigers career. I mean, it was 57 games over 2 seasons, so not a huge sample size, but he showed nothing essentially. You weren't too worried about it. At the time you're kind of like, well, you're kind of giving up on a prospect who had been playing in the majors, giving up on him a bit early, but we were getting an outfielder who's good for 27 home runs, and he had done similar stats before that in his career. So there's something that makes me fucking nervous anytime one of my teams trades with the Tampa Bay Rays, because they know shit. They fuck you somehow. They're not uh not overtly, but there's shit they know that no one else does. So again, it's the Cubs actually get Paredes. They actually either signed him or drafted him originally. His first team was the Cubs back in the day, and he was traded to the Tigers eventually. But um, a big upgrade defensively. It's just he's a solid third baseman. A big, you know, I mean, way better than average power hitter. He tends to pull the ball a lot for power, but when he's not looking to hit a home run, he spreads the ball all over the place. So he is a fine addition for a third base, and it kind of solidifies one of the Cubs' biggest issues. Uh, third base being, as they had a rotation of different players over the last couple of years. So that's a smart move. It's odd, and a lot of these moves that Jed Hoyer made at the deadline are strange to me because it's like I guess this move is kind of I keep hearing it referred to as a good old fashioned baseball trade where it's not that you're trading an expiring contract for prospects. These are major league players getting traded for each other. We like we like aspects of your player versus aspects of our player, but they could maybe help your team and they'll help us both. So it just makes me nervous anytime you're trading with Tampa because they're gonna unlock all the potential we saw with Christopher Morell. Somehow they'll find a position for him. Somehow fit him in the lineup. He's already hit 2 fucking home runs in 2 games with the Rays, so it's already looking like they've unlocked the magic. Um, I know Morel was a super popular player. I just found him frustrating just because of the easy swing and miss, the terrible defense, not being able to find a position, and yet being so athletic. That's what always perplexed me. Like how somebody that athletic could not figure out how to play consistent defense. It's almost like I don't want to disparage him on the way out the door, but you'd think with someone with that much athleticism should be able to figure it out. And maybe it's a concentration issue or not being far more concerned about his offense versus his defense. I don't know
Right.
what it is, but somehow I could see the Rays figuring it out because we've clearly seen him do it before. So I like that trade because I think it's an upgrade for the Cubs. It's just a weird thing to do when no, I think it makes sense because he's under control for
2 more
through
years,
the
right?
2027
Oh,
season.
okay,
So
cool.
yeah,
3 more years, yeah.
yeah, he's arbitration eligible, so he's going to start costing some money. I think he's making 3 million this year. He's probably going to make 6 million next year. As you blow your nose into the
Yeah, sorry.
podcast.
I meant to hit mute and forgot.
um, so I guess that trade makes sense. Uh,
I
the
mean,
trade for
I real quick, when I saw the trade come through, I said, "Oh, they kinda traded the same players sort of got traded from a numbers aspect, their offensive numbers are somewhat similar, but but to your point, the Cubs got they took away a bit of the defensive liability, a lot of the defensive liability at third base.
yeah,
And
they
that
got their third baseman for the next
yeah,
several years, which they
yeah,
didn't. That was a huge question mark. So
so I like it, actually. I
yeah,
hate to say
I do
it, but I
too. It
do.
just makes me nervous every time.
Word Hole Media.